Welcome, another episode. Reacts. That's a reacting. We and I'm the host three. Appreciate you for rocking with me. Like, comment, subscribe, hype or don't. I don't get no fuck. God bless you and yours from me and mine. In the meantime, between time, let's get to work. We got top 50 deadly robberies that turned fatal. You hear me? I think we did the first 10. We're gonna do this 10 and then I'm gonna stop it again for the next 10. Get to work.
The grandmother drops to the floor and appears to avoid injury as staff call police. Situations with weapons are highly unpredictable. The safest option for most people is to avoid
Dumbass and guys ass shot close range.
resisting, protect bystanders if possible, and contact authorities as soon as it's safe. Masked teens rush a smoke shop counter, only to be driven back by the owner. In Las Vegas, 3 masked juveniles enter a smoke shop. One grabs the tip jar, while another moves toward the register and then jumps over the glass case. Fearing he's about to be overwhelmed, the owner grabs a sharp object from the counter and fights the intruder off, while the other teens run for the door. The suspect falls near the entrance, and the owner immediately stops, calls 911, and waits for police. Officers later arrest the juveniles, and the injured teen is taken to the hospital. Robberies can turn chaotic in seconds. Physical resistance
Got his little ass stabbed up and his friends left him. Crazy.
carries huge risks. Whenever possible, focus on prevention, staying calm, and calling authorities as soon as it's safe to do so. Quiet liquor store suddenly turns into chaos when 2 masked men rush in and a customer drops to the floor, trying to crawl away as a gun is raised over her. The robbers force the worker and customer to comply, while one suspect moves behind the counter, aiming the weapon and demanding the day's takings from the register. As the gunman shifts his focus toward the customer, the worker sees a split-second opening, lunges forward, and wrestles with him in a close-quarters struggle. The fight drives the armed robber backward toward the exit. Both suspects break free, retreat to a waiting vehicle, and speed away, while the worker and customer make it to safety and contact police. Confronting an armed attacker is extremely risky. Whenever possible, prioritize staying low, using cover and escaping, and rely on layered security measures like cameras.
I'd have been, yo, bro, I'd have been pistol whipping dog shit down his leg, bro. Oh my God. I'd have broke the gun on his head, bro. I swear, yo, bro. Oh my God. If I have a gun, I'd have been using them bottles. You see that wine rack he just knocked on the floor? Yo, bro.
Cameras, controlled entry, and quick calls to authorities instead of direct physical resistance. A masked robber raises a gun, then a customer behind him moves first. Early morning at an Arizona gas station.
Oh, Puz was quick on his feet. Puz is from the hood. He was quick. Puz grabbed that gun like that shit was a toy or something.
3 suspects walk in. One points a handgun toward the cashier as a Marine Corps veteran stands nearby. The moment the muzzle drifts past him, the veteran lunges, grabs the gun hand, and slams the suspect against the counter while the other 2 run. He wrenches the weapon away and holds the suspect on the floor until deputies arrive. Reports say no injuries were recorded, and the juvenile is taken into custody. Robberies unfold in seconds, and intervening is extremely risky. Whenever possible, create distance, stay low, and call law enforcement instead of trying to disarm an attacker. A gun is inches from his face, but the man in the hat is the one who moves. Inside a butcher shop in Nuevo Leon, a hooded robber points a handgun toward the cashier and the owner in the cowboy hat, demanding cash. When the robber briefly turns toward a female customer behind him, the owner seizes the moment, lunges forward, and clamps onto the gun arm. He drives the robber backward in a tight clinch, knocks the weapon away, and wrestles him to the ground as other employees rush in. The suspect is held until police arrive and is later charged with attempted robbery. Disarming an armed robber is extremely risky and should never be attempted unless there is no safer option. In most situations, maintaining distance, staying low, and calling law enforcement when it's safe is the best.
You know he's tripping, bro. There's nobody in the store. Look, there was no one inside of there, bro.
Way to survive. A masked robber leaps the counter with a shotgun, but someone outside is watching. Evening at a supermarket in Siparia, Trinidad and Tobago. Two armed men rush in. One climbs the counter for cash, while customers back away, and a security guard waits near the entrance. As the robbers run for the door, the guard draws his firearm, fires, and the gunman near the entrance drops the weapon and goes down. Police arrive moments later, recover the shotgun, detain the second suspect, and the injured robber is taken to the hospital under guard. Gunfights are chaotic and unpredictable. If a robbery erupts, don't try to be the hero. Get low, move to cover if you safely can, and call law enforcement once you're out of danger. A routine interaction inside a phone store
Slump boy, he came running out. He shot his ass down immediately.
turns into a sudden confrontation. CCTV inside a cell phone and accessories store in Asuncion shows a man entering and posing as a customer while speaking with the employee at the counter. At close range, the suspect draws a firearm from his waistband. The employee grabs his wrist, and a brief struggle follows near the entrance as the suspect drops his bag and loses control of the weapon. With the firearm on the floor, the employee forces the suspect out of the store. The suspect flees without taking anything, and police later recover the weapon and review the footage. Close-range robberies escalate instantly. Distance, barriers, and loss of weapon control can change outcomes, but personal safety must always come first. In heavy traffic, a woman walks up to a green SUV and suddenly levels what looks like a gun at the passenger window. Cars are stopped on a busy avenue when she steps off the curb, approaches the SUV, and points the object at the passenger, demanding valuables as nearby. Drivers look on. The driver, seeing the weapon aimed at him, draws a firearm from inside the vehicle and fires a single shot through the open window. The suspect turns, staggers between the cars, and collapses farther up the street.
Yeah, that's what he get. Just goofy ass. He had a gun in his hand. I seen when he walked around the car, he cocked it. Like, stop with the pump faking, my nigga. And that's a lady. I don't know if they keep saying a lady. Like that was a guy. That was not no lady, bro. A woman aimed what looks like a gun at an SUV. The driver fires from inside. It was a toy. Oh my God. Do you see what I'm saying? Why you can't be playing with toys? Man.
Emergency services and police respond, and officers later confirm she had been using a toy gun. In real time, no one can tell a toy from a real weapon. Any armed confrontation in traffic can turn deadly in seconds. If you witness a roadside robbery, stay in your vehicle if possible, avoid sudden movements, call authorities, and focus on observing details rather than intervening. A late-night delivery stop is interrupted by an unexpected approach from the dark. Late in the evening, a delivery driver finishes a stop and prepares to leave on his motorcycle when an individual arrives on a bicycle and initiates a robbery. As the delivery driver complies, a car pulls up from behind, changing the dynamics of the scene in seconds. The approaching vehicle accelerates into the cyclist, ending the robbery attempt. The delivery driver steps away from the motorcycle as the scene stabilizes and authorities are later notified. Robbery situations are volatile and unpredictable. Maintaining awareness, avoiding intervention by bystanders, and prioritizing safe.
That motherfucker went from Yo, bro. That motherfucker went from in the middle of a robbery to on the hood of a hot ass Yo, bro, in real time, bro. Yo, bro, in real fucking time, bro. This motherfucker, this motherfucker, in real life, in real time, this motherfucker went from in the middle of a robbery to on the hood of a hot ass car, bro. Oh my god. Yo.
Withdrawal reduces the risk of escalation. A woman leans over the glass case, then suddenly whips her hand toward the jeweler's eyes. Ahmedabad, India. Inside a small
Oh, ah, Brooklyn. Yo, bro, the nigga slept dog shit out of us just now, bro. Hold on, look.
jewelry shop. A lone jeweler is serving a woman who appears to be a normal customer. She waits until he's close and relaxed behind the counter. In a flash, she tries to fling chili powder toward his face to blind him and grab the display pieces. The jeweler instinctively blocks, then rushes her, pushing and striking out in a brief struggle and forcing her away from the counter as staff and bystanders react. He forces
Yo, he's not. He trying to do some old school shit. Trying to throw some powder in his face. This motherfucker said chili powder. This nigga- Oh, come here. Yo, cuz slam dog shit out her legs. Hold on, look.
she tries to fling chili powder toward his face to
One,
blind him and
two,
grab the
three,
display pieces.
four,
The jeweler
five,
instinctively
six,
blocks, then rushes her, pushing
seven,
and striking out
eight.
in a brief struggle and
You gave her 8 good ass slaps, bro. Her face is on fire right now.
forcing her away from the counter as staff and bystanders react. He forces her back toward the doorway and out of the shop as the struggle continues, before the situation finally breaks and the footage later goes to police. For small shops, the safer move is distance, not payback. Keep counters as physical barriers, step back from reaching range, use alarms or shout for help, and focus on locking doors and preserving evidence. Once the immediate threat is stopped, disengage and call authorities instead of continuing force. Night dash cam shows a couple on a motorcycle stopped by two riders. Seconds later, the off-duty cop is on the phone saying, "They tried to steal my bike. I have one down." An off-duty Buenos Aires police sergeant rides with his girlfriend when another motorcycle pulls alongside. The passenger points what appears to be a gun and orders the officer to hand over his bike. He gets off and steps away as his girlfriend runs. The thief climbs onto the stolen motorcycle and starts to ride off. From several meters behind, the officer draws his service pistol and fires multiple shots toward the fleeing rider. The thief falls in the street and later dies, while his accomplice escapes. When investigators
Look, died over a bike. Look at him. Died. Lost his goddamn life, bro, over that bicycle. Damn fool.
review the footage and discover the suspect's weapon was a homemade fake and that he was moving away. The officer is arrested, and the case is treated as a possible excessive force shooting rather than a clear self-defense incident.
Why would it be treated as excessive force if, like, what? Wow. I have to find it. What?
Even in an armed robbery, the legal right to use deadly force usually ends once the threat is breaking contact, and you have a path to safety. Shooting at a fleeing attacker can turn a defensive moment into a criminal investigation, especially when authorities decide the danger was no longer immediate. Late night in Argentina, two men on
The last one.
a motorcycle think they've found an easy target, but he's a federal police officer off duty. CCTV shows the officer walking on the sidewalk. The bike rolls up. The passenger hops off, points a revolver, and demands his phone while the rider keeps the engine running. The officer raises a hand as if complying, then quickly draws his service weapon, identifies himself, and fires several controlled shots to stop the armed attacker. The suspect falls to the pavement while the rider sprints away with the motorcycle as neighbors call police and emergency services to the scene. Armed robberies escalate in seconds. Unless you're trained law enforcement, your best defense is distance, cover, and calling authorities. Never trying to outdraw a weapon yourself.
Damn. Alright, man. Y'all let me know if y'all want the rest. Until the next. Like, comment, subscribe. Or don't, bitch. I'm out of here.